through these, we are going to talk about which ones you are responsible for, okay? So, I want us to go ahead and look at the first section. So, the first section is solving by graphing, okay? Y'all are going to have to do all of the ones in this section, okay? This entire section you are responsible for. So, we are going to do all of these. So, we're going to put all. Okay. And we're actually going to go over most of these together. So that will kind of help out too. So for number 1, okay, when I made this one, I just did not catch that the vertex was going to be a fraction. Okay. I will not give you one on the test with the vertex of fraction. So we're going to go over how to find the vertex of this one. And I'm going to tell you what the vertex is and all the other stuff you need to plug in. Okay. So for number 1, okay, we are going to start with finding our vertex. To find the vertex, we do x is equal to negative b over 2a. So here, we'll have x equals negative, what is b? Negative 2 over 2 times 2. So we get 2 over 4, which is the same thing as 1/2. So that is where our vertex is, okay? Now, obviously, our calculator is not going to tell us that, okay, and tell us the y value for it. So you'd have to plug in and solve. I already did that. It is going to be negative 4.5, okay? So after, when you're working independently, you can finish this problem, and you can do problems with 0, negative 1, negative 2, 1, 2, 3. So I already found the vertex for you. All you'll have to do is plug in the other numbers and use that to find the rest of it. Like, use your calculator to find the rest of the table. Because the rest of the table is not affected by the fraction. Only thing that was affected by the fraction is the vertex. You will not have fractions on the test with graphing. All right, now for number 2, okay, there was a typo. I mismultiplied something, and that right there should be negative 32. But we are going to go ahead and go over that one. So if we look at this one, okay, we're going to do x is equal to negative b, what is b? Over 2 times a, what is a? Negative 1. So our numerator will be negative, or negative and a negative make a. And then our denominator will be negative 2. What is 12 divided by negative 2? So our vertex is going to be negative 6, and so we're going to use our calculators to find points all around it. So go ahead and take your calculators out and use them to do that. Hayden, the paper's on my desk if you want to start working on it. It's the yellow packet. Where is everybody today?
That's what I said. Is there a field trip?
I don't know, probably. All right. Using our calculators, what is, if the x value is negative 9, what's the y value? Anybody know yet?
Oh.
What? Negative?
What's the y value?
No. Which one is the what? What are we doing?
The table. We're filling in the table using our calculator. And I said if x is negative 9, what is y? 5.
I mean, negative 5.
If x is negative 8, what is y?
0.
If x is negative 7, what is y?
3.
Negative 6?
4.
Negative 5?
3.
Negative 4? Negative 3. Perfect. And then we're going to graph that. So go to negative 9, negative 5. Then we're going to go to negative 8, 0, negative 7, 3, negative 6, 4, negative 5, 3, negative 4, 0, negative 3, 5. And draw our graph. When we solve by graphing, okay, what am I looking at to find our solution? Where it crosses the what? x-axis. So where does this particular graph cross the x-axis?
Negative 8 and negative.
At negative 8 and negative 4. So our solution is negative 8, comma, negative 4. And you can also see that on our table where our y value is 0. All right. For number 3, okay, I did not pay attention to how big this one would be when I came up with this question. Okay, so we are going to we're going to do the whole table, but we're going to kind of cheat the graph just a little bit because we can't make it as big as it actually is. So I want us to go ahead and look at this. We're going to do x is equal to, or it's already got it's negative b over 2a, so it'll be negative, what is b? So over 2 times. So in the numerator, we will get what?
6.
Denominator, we will get?
1.
Which is equal to 1. So that is what goes in the middle of our table, and we'll do 0, negative 1, negative 2, 2, 3, and 4. Y'all go ahead and do that for me. Graph it with the table. Your numbers will be big, and that is okay. Yeah, they're pretty big numbers. So when we look at that, when we plug in negative 2, what is our y value? Negative 1, what is our y value? 0, what is our y value? 1, what is our y value? 2, what is our y value? 3, 4.
0.
Perfect. And so we're going to graph this. Now, obviously, we cannot put all of those bigger numbers on the graph because they're not going to fit. So we're going to put the 2 that are on there. So negative 2 and 4. And then I'm going to go to 1 and I'm going to go down and I'm going to pretend that right there is at 27. And then I'm just going to sketch roughly what the graph will look like. Okay. You won't have one where you have to do that. All of yours will be on the graph. I have already made all 4 versions of the test. I did that last night, and I'm going to triple check today that all the graphs work, okay? So, and if they don't, I will change them. So what are our solutions for this one? Negative 2 and 4. Again, we can see it on our table and on the graph. So I should write the answer as x is equal to, squiggly bracket, negative 2, comma 4. Mm-hmm.
Are we always going to see it on the graph?
Yes. For solving by graphing, you will see it on the graph. And if it doesn't cross the x-axis, that means it has no real solutions. Okay? So I want us to go ahead and we're going to flip to the back. Okay?
Ms. Nolan,
Yes.
Station 1 stuff will be able to use the review on the test.
No. You can have a note card on the test. Yes. Everything on the review is on the test. All right. Now, on the next page, we're going to look at number 5, okay? Number 5's typo is really, really an easy fix. It was supposed to be a negative 4. So just fix that to a negative 4, okay? We're not going to go over that problem right now, but it should just be a negative 4. All right, now, the next section that we are going to look at, okay, is we are going to do solving by factoring, okay? And for solving by factoring, we are going to you have to do all even problems. So all even. And we're going to do a few of these together, one of which is just fixing a typo. All right, so for number 9, okay, there was supposed to be an X right here. I just forgot to put it. So on number 9, put that X in there. And then when I put that X in there, what is our GCF?
3.
3. x. And then we divide both of these terms by 3x, and that leaves us with x plus. So when we solve by factoring, once we get it factored, what do we do with each factored piece? Set it equal to 0. So we get 3x equals 0, and x plus 8 equals 0. We have to solve both of those. How would I solve 3x equals 0? Yep, divide by 3. So x equals 0. For the second one, what do we do?
You guys subtract it.
So we get x equals. So to write our solution, we will do x is equal to squiggly bracket,
-8,
comma.
0.
Perfect. The next typo that I made that we have to fix. I told you I made 5. I'm sorry.
It feels like a lot more than 5.
We've only went over 5 questions. Yeah. All right. This is actually the last typo too. So, okay, and it is question number 11. Okay, so 11. Okay, that middle term should be a negative 6x. Yeah, no, that one was probably my worst typo. Yeah, because like the first one, I mismultiplied 8 and 4. I said it was 24. Y'all know I'm not good on my 8s times tables. That's where that mistake came from. The second one, I just clicked the wrong button. I was supposed to click a 4, not a 1. And then the last one, I forgot an X. And this one, I don't know what happened. I just dropped a ball. Yes.
So, like you know that one when you have to divide like 6 divided by 2 to get like.
That is not this section. This is solving by factoring. This is different. We're not doing completing the square here. That is at the end.
I don't remember doing it.
Well, we did it. We did it. It was 9.2. We did a couple days on it last week. It was Tuesday and Wednesday of last week, I think. All right. So we are still solving by factoring, okay? So we have to factor this. It is a trinomial. She's got 3 terms. So that's where we do the x. So when we do this, okay, what is a times c? Yeah. What is b? So we have to figure out what 2 numbers multiply to give us 9, but add to give us -6. It is -3 and -3. Now, we know from our time completing the square, when it is the same here in the middle, what does that mean?
X minus 3 squared.
Yep. Because can we use the shortcut here?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because X is 1.
Yeah, we just have an understood 1 in front. So we can jump straight to there. And we know from completing the square, we can just write x minus 3 squared equals 0. And so when we set this equal to 0 and solve, we only have to do x minus 3 equals 0. The one time. Because is it going to change if I do it twice? No. So then we add 3 to both sides. And we get x equals 3. So our solution set will just be x equals squiggly bracket 3.
That's all you have to do for that.
That's all you have to do for that one.
But what if I get it confused?
It will have in the directions solve by factoring. Now, if you solve something by the wrong method, you get the answer correct, I will give you no. So if the question is worth 4 points, I will give you 1. I'll give you the 1 point for the solution, but you will not get the rest of it. So if you did that for every single one of them by the wrong method, you would still fail the test.
So,
But I need you to do them by the correct method, yes.
so like, whenever we've been doing, like, subtracting by 9. So
That will be on the completing the square section.
completing the square, that's
That's called completing the square.
And then this is called by factoring.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, now, we're also going to do number... Which one do I want to do? I think it's on the next page. It's number 15.
15 is not on the first page. Next page.
Oh, it's on that page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. So sorry. All right, now for this one, again, we're still solving by factoring. What is A times C?
30. Negative.
Negative 30. What is B?
13.
So we have to figure out what multiplies to give us negative 30 and adds to give us 13. Is it going to be 10 and 3?
Yes.
What signs do I need to make a negative number? I need a positive and a negative. If I do positive 10, negative 3, I'm going to get 7. Or if I do negative 10, positive 3, I'm going to get negative 7. It can't be either of those.
15 and 2.
It will be 15 and 2. Which one needs to be what? Negative 2, positive 15. So we will set this up. We will do 3x squared. Ooh, 1 second. Can we use the shortcut?
No.
Why?
It's not a 1.
Because A is not 1. So we have to do grouping. So we do 3x squared plus or minus 2x. It can do it the other way if you want to. It's fine. Plus 15x minus 10 equals 0. If you swap the order of those in the middle, will your answer still be the same? As long as you do the question right. Yeah. What is the GCF for the first two? X. So if we take out an x, that'll leave us with what?
3x minus 2.
Mm-hmm. And for the second half, what is our GCF? 5. If we take out a 5, what is that going to leave us with? 3x minus 2. And what part is the same? What part is left over? Equals 0. Now, do each piece equal to 0? I miswrote that. It's 3x minus 2. So we do... I'm struggling on the typos today. I don't know. 3x minus 2 equals 0. How do I solve that? Ooh. Add 2 first. Then we get 3x equals 2. Then what? So x is equal to 2/3. Okay? Then we have x plus 5 equals 0. How do I solve that? Subtract 5. So x equals negative 5. So we have x is equal to, squiggly bracket,
Negative 5.
comma,
2/3.
2/3. Here we go. Okay, we are going to now jump to the solving by square root section. Yes. Now, our solving by square root section, again, you are going to have to do all even. Okay?
What are these? What are quadratic equations again?
They have an exponent of 2. It's what all of the stuff we've been doing so far.
Oh, is this just all of it mixed together?
So quadratic equations are literally just all of them. So you are looking at the completing the square section because that's what the directions say right there. So we're going to be in solve by square root. Goodness gracious. Square roots. So to solve by square roots, we get x squared by itself, take the square root, and solve. Okay? So we're going to do number 19. How do I get the x squared by itself? It's already subtracted, so I need to add 25. So I get 4x squared is equal to 25. Now what can I do to get x squared by itself? Mm-hmm. So we get x squared equals 25 over 4. How do I undo a square? Now, when I take the square root of a fraction, okay, remember, that is the same thing as me doing the square root of the top divided by the square root of the bottom. So it'll be x is equal to positive, negative, what? 5 over 2. So our solution is x is equal to, squiggly bracket, negative 5/2, positive 5/2. And when on Schoology, we already have the full answer key to these posted, okay? And I also put the steps for each section on Schoology. So like next to the solve by square root section, it's going to say step 1, solve for x squared. Step 2, square root both sides. Step 3, solve both cases. Okay, for completing the square, it's going to have all the steps there. For graphing, it's going to have all the steps there. It's going to have all the steps next to each of the sections on Schoology if you look at it. All right, now, for number... That's good. We're going to go ahead and look at the completing the square section. Okay, for completing the square section, you also have to do all even. So the completing the square section is what we have been working on the most recently. It's what we did on Friday and yesterday. So instead of me doing a practice page today with just completing the square, I did about double of the amount of completing the square questions I would have put on the review on here. Because if you need to practice them, I want you to practice them. Okay, so you have to do all even. So you have to do all graphing questions and then the rest of the even questions to receive credit for your review. Now, if you do the entire thing, all 41 questions, okay, you will get an additional 5 points on your test. That gives you 15 possible bonus points for this test.
Wait, would you say do what?
And so, listen, how that works, okay, is if those bonus points just go into your major grade category, okay? So if you did, I haven't got all my grades put in, and I'm so sorry. It's been a rough couple minutes for me, and as you can see, my life is very chaotic right now. But we're okay. We're doing it. If you did badly on one of those other tests, those 15 points,
I think you're good at this, other.
it's like you made higher on the other test, yeah. And if it would make you feel better, I will move some bonus points around. Like if you failed the test, I'll take 15 bonus points and put them on the test you failed, and so it looks like you passed. Okay, but I will put those on the test you need the most.
Please stop doing that.
My fault.
Okay, I will put them where you need the most. That is 15 test bonus points. That's a lot. Okay, so you get the 10 for doing the orange paper that I gave y'all yesterday, solving that. Okay, and then you can get 5 additional ones for this. Okay, if you do all of it. So take advantage of that opportunity. All right, now we are going to do question. There was one of these I did wrong on the answer key. And I want to do that one. So that way you have the right answer. And if you check it. Number 37. Okay, let's go to 37. Okay, I am all about mistakes these days, apparently. Clearly.
I thought that was the last one.
No, this one doesn't have a typo, but when I wrote out my answer key, I did something wonky. So I just want us to do this one in case you check the answer key. Then you have the right answer already on your paper. Because I made an uh-oh. All right, for this one, we have to solve by completing the square. So first things first, we have to get rid of the constant. So how do I get rid of the constant? Subtract 16 on both sides. 37. So we're on 4x squared plus 24x equals, what is 5 minus 16?
That's 11, negative 11.
Negative 11. Now, we have to get rid of a. So we're going to take and divide everything by 4. So we will get x squared plus what?
6x.
Okay, we're going to leave this a blank. And then we just are going to leave it as negative 11 over 4. Because we can't simplify that, and I don't want a decimal. All right, now, we have to figure out what number we need to add to find our perfect square trinomial. Okay?
2 squared.
6 divided by 2 squared. What is 6 divided by 2?
3.
So what is 3 squared?
9.
So we need to add 9 on both sides. So when we add 9, okay, that gives us our perfect square trinomial, which we can factor. You can either do this full by factoring and do 6, but multiplies to give you 9, adds to give you 6, or there is a trick to speed this process up. What is half of 6?
3.
So x plus 3 squared equals, someone use their calculator to do negative 11 over 4. That trick will only work with perfect square trinomials and completing the square though. Okay. You try to do that with factoring, you'll get into some trouble.
Negative 2.75.
Give me a fraction. 25 over 4. And how do I undo a square? Square root. So we'll get x plus 3 equals positive negative 5 over 2. Subtract 3. And so we get x equals negative 3 plus or minus 5 over 2. What is negative 3 plus 5 over 2? Using your calculator. If you use your calculator, it'll tell you. Negative 1/2. Okay, then we have negative 3 minus 5 over 2.
My calculator be showing me decimals, but how do I make it fractions?
Did you type it in as with the fraction button? Did you use the fraction button?
So, negative plus. What the hell? Heck. I think I pressed it wrong.
All right, what is negative 3 minus 5 over 2? What was that? Negative 11 over 2. So our solution is x is equal to negative 11 halves, comma 1/2. That is our answer. Okay, that is how we solve by completing the square. Okay, so our review. The problems you have to do are 1 through 5, then the rest of the evens. Everything else, if you choose to do it, A, it would be good practice for you, and B, you get 5 bonus points. Okay, yes.
Is that not negative 1/2?
It is negative 1/2.
You didn't write it in the AC.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Ramsey. Okay. And then, again, our bonus, the orange sheet. Okay, your answer to that orange sheet, where we had to solve ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay. Your answer will have a square root. It will have fractions. It will have the numbers 2 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just letting you know that. Yes, I'll get you one. Any other questions? Okie dokie. So